Welcome back to our KMBC 9 Chronicle, Answering Alzheimer's. For most people with Alzheimer's, symptoms can appear in their mid-60s or later, and that's according to the National Institute on Aging. An estimated 1 in 20 people with Alzheimer's are younger than 65. 1 in 14 with it are older than 65, and 1 in every 6 people over the age of 80 have Alzheimer's. That's 1 in 6 over the age of 80. When it happens to people in this age range, families are faced with tough decisions to make, because when the disease reaches a point when caregivers can no longer take care of that loved one themselves, the next step almost always involves a care facility.
Well, anything else going on?
No, but tell me about you guys.
That's exactly where Chuck Kajinian's family found themselves, forced to make the decision how to continue caring for him.
That's Mom's hand. That's Mom. Mom is touching you. She's behind you.
Oh, okay.
Here, you want to come over here? Well, yeah.
I could see it getting worse all the time. It was just killing me, physically and mentally. And in fact, I lost 25 pounds or something during that period, just trying to take care of him.
It was such a hard decision for everyone, but especially for Mom too, because she was hesitating, because for these reasons. They've been together for 63 years. She kind of was putting it off. Let's just wait till the holidays, and then after the holidays we'll do it. And after the holidays it was their wedding anniversary coming up, and we just kind of kept finding moments that let's wait until this, and I don't think there was any other way to do this reasonably that would have gotten him.
Since the disease worsened Chuck's mind, Chuck refused to go on his own. His family talked a lot with staff from their chosen memory care center.
Really a lot of guidance from experts who have dealt with this much more than we have, who suggested that, that we involve our husbands and have them take him out. They went out to lunch, they went shopping, I think they went to Cabela's, and just told him they were having a guy's day, and at a very specific time that was on our written schedule, they showed up at his new community. They had convinced him he had a doctor's appointment there. Our husbands took him in, and they were greeted, and out the back door they went, and Dad was in his new home. So it was pretty abrupt.
He was angry. He called me over 100 times that day. But come get me, or what am I doing here, you know, and so forth.
So I went over that night and I knocked on his door, and he was in his coat, and he, for the first time in my entire life, was yelling at me. He never yelled at us, and telling me, "You get me out of here," and he was grabbing my arm and pulling me down the hall. He was adamant that he was leaving, and I got the attention of the staff, and they kind of distracted him for just a minute, and he was yelling at me, "Come with me, come with me." I said, "I am, Dad," and I turned and went out the door while he had his back to me, and it was a horrible feeling. I was actually afraid to go see him for a month. So once we moved him in, just because of that first night was so difficult, it took me a month before I would go see him.
My doctor was really sure that I had it.
David Welch has been on his own Alzheimer's journey for years.
My doctor had been looking for stuff for me for a while. He knew my sister, he knew my dad. He'd been my doctor for 30-some years. He started looking at studies a year or two before that.
He's currently taking part in a clinical trial of a controversial Alzheimer's drug. Because of this, David found the key to the life he has now. And it's turned out to be a miracle for him. The drug Aduhelm, and it sits inside this refrigerator at that Wichita hospital. In 2016, Welch volunteered to be part of a long-term study of the drug. 4 years ago, he was one of 7 people in the Wichita area chosen to be part of a clinical drug trial.
It was a very good feeling.
Patients got a monthly infusion of the drug for free. For David, the drug comes in simple, unmarked white boxes. The contents of each are mixed and prepared for infusion into his right arm.
He gets 2 and then 0.9 of this.
It isn't a cure, but it's designed to slow the progression of Alzheimer's by reducing abnormal clumps of proteins called plaque in the brain. That plaque is what many have long thought to be the cause of Alzheimer's. But Aduhelm comes with controversy. 3 years ago, the drug won FDA approval, but experts raised questions about how fast that approval came. There were also allegations of incomplete record keeping involving the agency and the drug maker Biogen. Critics called the drug's approval process rife with irregularities. Some major health systems decided not to offer Aduhelm infusions, citing questionable efficacy and the risks of brain swelling and bleeding. What David is doing is one of a kind, and he's decided to move forward with treatment, risking any unknown side effects or satisfaction in knowing his Alzheimer's is going away.
Boy, you always wish for the best. I've lost some cognitive abilities, you know.
All right, down to the wire here.
When Ann Frazier started noticing symptoms, she knew something was wrong and wanted to find out what was going on inside her brain.
Good job. How'd we do?
Ann's next stop was the doctor.
I'll never forget. We were driving to Concordia. I was sitting in the car and looking through my emails because I knew I was going to be getting it at some point. And I got the email. And so I looked through, and it didn't surprise, I didn't cry because I kind of almost knew. I just had already prepared myself that I would be shocked if it didn't come back because there had to be a reason why I was having all these moments. So, yeah. And I told Mark, well, yep, it's confirmed.
We kind of prepared for it.
Ann was found to have the gene APOE4. When detected, the gene doesn't mean someone has Alzheimer's. It also doesn't mean they will develop Alzheimer's. But it does mean the chances of getting the disease are greater.
I went to a different doctor first, who's also integrative medicine. As I was explaining to her what was going on and about my parents, that was literally the week that Dr. Dale Bredesen, his book came out called The End of Alzheimer's. And that's when she said, get this book. And while I was in her office, I was literally on the phone ordering it from Amazon as we spoke.
Dr. Dale Bredesen is a neuroscientist and neurologist. His book is billed as a groundbreaking plan to prevent and reverse Alzheimer's.
As they say, everyone knows a cancer survivor, no one knows an Alzheimer's survivor.
This research outlines a variety of metabolic factors like micronutrients, hormone levels, even sleep. Dr. Bredesen believes rebalancing these factors and eating a proper diet, getting enough sleep, exercising on a regular basis, and reducing stress can stop and even reverse cognitive loss.
It's not that your brain is trying to give you Alzheimer's. It's simply recognizing that you have insults. And these can be bacteria, these can be fungi, they can be viruses, it can be not enough sleep, it can be too much stress, all these sorts of things.
Ann Frazier read Dr. Bredesen's book. And then, her path led her to start asking questions of a local doctor. Questions about all those moments when she knew something wasn't quite right.
Hi, I'm Ann Frazier.
Still to come on this KMBC9 Chronicle, Ann's search to answer the questions surrounding Alzheimer's takes another step forward, but criticism comes quick. The controversial research some call flawed, and those who say it's changing their lives. When KMBC9 Chronicle, Answering Alzheimer's, returns.